What's happening, my beautiful people? My name is Dirty Mike. Can I get a drum roll, please? Bringing out that back-to-back content where we're looking at the live tutorials, the live tips. And this is from this past weekend. You guys might recognize the gamer tag on screen. Kurt Zuma, typically a top 100 player, definitely made the top 100 before. That's his team. If you enjoy this concept, we're going to talk about it. It's kind of the In My Head series, what I'm thinking during the match. And we're going to jump right into the gameplay. If you have any questions, concerns, whatever floats your boat, get in the comments down below. We can get some dialogue rolling in terms of the gameplay. What was good, what was bad, what was in between. Let's open it up for discussion. Before I push play on the match, if you need those custom snapbacks and hats, roll clip.
This video is brought to you by catbeast.com. Design your own custom snapbacks and hats.
We're getting started at the pause screen. Seems to be my favorite screen when we're looking at these videos. And as you saw with my opposition, he's got a solid team. I think he brings on somebody off the bench. I don't remember who he has coming on as a sub. And it doesn't intimidate me going against good players or good teams, especially since I'm in a position where my squad, for many, would be considered a mega team or a very expensive squad. So I can never complain about anybody's teams, what they bring to the table. Even if you have a better squad than me, there's no room for me to be able to say, oh, you know, it was his team. No, it's a matter of performance. As you see, we're getting underway in the blue units. He's in the red units. He switched into the 4-1-2-1-2. Pretty normal. You don't see many people play the 4-4-2. However, it has definitely gotten a little more traction in FUT Champions recently. A couple pros have experimented with it. We see Sean Allen as well as Huge Gorilla. Kind of a reckless fake shot. Almost works out for me with Griezmann. And my mindset going into this game, because I recognize the gamer tag, and if I recognize your gamer tag, typically that's not a good thing if you were looking for easy games, okay? It doesn't mean it's a bad thing. I'm just saying if I remember a gamer tag, either one, played like a major hoe bag, or two, he was pretty solid at the game. Usually both of those are the only two circumstances, or maybe you're a mixture of both, because at the end of the day, I think we've all been hoed out. Whether that's tons of shielding, the park the bus, the custom formations of the past, the attribute cards, where FUT Champs has made you a different type of person or a different type of player. Oh, first little mini break. Thankfully, that's regular Suarez. I think he made a good decision actually with the Berba spin, even though Neuer picks it up. He caught me kind of leaning. If he had a little bit more space, that would have most likely been a goal on his kind of his first attack, and that puts a lot of pressure on you if you're chasing the game. Especially when you're in a high level match where you don't expect there to be as many mistakes. Speaking of, kind of an unforced error there with Dybala. And what he did is that he never let up off the right, or off the sprint command, or on the Xbox it would be the RT, on the PlayStation R2. And he tried to do a skill move and it just made him look bad. We're all guilty of that, let's be honest. And the worst one is that fake shot that you miss time. And I rushed my gameplay a little bit too. The early stages of this match are kind of feeling out your opposition. There's some good, there's some bad, and there's some in between. I always expect to have kind of a battle in the midfield, and that's going to decide who's going to win the game. I had an outlet there for Griezmann, but in my head, in my mind, I thought it might have looked too obvious. And when you know you're playing against a top tier opponent, or someone who's supposed to be a top tier opponent, then sometimes being simple is good, sometimes not so much. You could use it as an advantage as we started the game. That's beautiful. 16th minute, 1-0. Cristiano Ronaldo, and it's a combo of 3 skills. And I was gonna shoot, and I actually canceled out of the shot with that fake shot command. I'm glad I did. It made an automatic finish as opposed to possibly having a defender run across and get a block. As we are aware, the AI does a lot for you in this year's installment. But probably my biggest critique outside of some of the servers is, please make people defend on their own. Please don't let the AI bail them out. I don't care who they have, whether it's Rudiger or Boateng. Does not matter. They shouldn't make all the diving saves for you, or the auto slide tackles, or stick out their leg here. They sacrifice their bodies so well in FIFA 17. So starting out with a goal, nothing really changes for me at this point. I'm still pushing for more goals. It's way too early to start thinking about oh, I'm going to slow down the game, or I'm going to change formations, at least in my mind. I don't typically make formation swaps until halftime. I'm not sure if I should make an adjustment on that or not. Maybe I'll make a change if I could tell that I'm playing poorly in the formation. But if I'm ahead, I kind of have a rule of thumb, and I don't know if it's just off doing this via habit or whatever it might be, it's confidence, we don't know. But my rule of thumb is I usually wait till half. That's bad defending and just a beautiful play at the end from Ferdinand. He kind of jigged me there with the pace control, also known as the face-up dribble. And for you guys watching, if you had to learn 3 skill moves in FIFA, and I'm going to consider the face-up dribble a skill move, these are the 3 to learn. All right, face-up dribble, the shield, if you consider that a skill. If not, I'll give you another one. The fake shot, because it has so many different variations. Whether you're doing the stop and pop, where you don't choose an exit direction, whether you're doing the standard fake shot, or if you're standing still and you try to do a fake shot first time when you're receiving a pass. There's a lot of different variations, and anyone on the pitch is eligible, whether you have someone who is skilling and killing or somebody that is hurting your eyes to see the slow-mo execution. I'd also recommend the body feint probably as the other skill to learn. It's not nearly as diverse as it once was. It's not as quick, it's not as overpowered, but there still is value. And if you have the smaller, very, very skillful, the intricate players, they show up with that body feint. The guys like Messi and Mertens and George Best, Del Piero, Insigne, these guys all shine if you're quick with the body feint. Even some of the big skillful guys, Ronaldo's never going to let you down with a skill move. Not in any FIFA that I've played, at least. And as you can see, we're kind of battling it out in the midfield. He's looking for, I would say, more quick counters, putting together a couple of quick passes and building an attack. And I'm just trying not to make any dumb errors on my way to progression. And that's probably because I already have the goal. I'm still trying to be very attacking. I still want to score more goals. But at the same time, I don't want to give you a gift in the midfield. That's always going to be a bad look. It's going to be a problem. He's a little more direct than me as well from what we're seeing. Even though the skill moves are in his gameplay, he's looking to hit the striker right away, not doing a lot of extra passing. I'm not sure if that's because I'm ahead or if that's just kind of his gameplay. That's the standard. I talked about this a couple videos ago, but attacking positioning. If you can get the ball into the crucial areas quickly and you're good at that, it's a skill, it's an asset, it's beautiful. I actually mentioned #Harry as one of those guys when I watch him play, that I just think he gets the ball in the right areas on the pitch very quickly and very efficiently, therefore giving himself an opportunity to score more goals or to at least be in the right shooting positions. Should have laid that off there with Pogba. FIFA is so much about being able to read your opposition. What is he thinking? It's kind of like chess or checkers or any 1v1 thinking game where you're not necessarily playing the cards or playing the players, but actually the man behind the players. And don't get me wrong, with that being said, there are better teams. There are better players. The personnel could be improved, and that does help. But at the end of the day, I play Legends all the time, and even with a lower rated team, I can still beat Legend squads, just depending on how skillful my opponent is. Not a lot of chances in the first half. I think he said that he had 1 shot. I can't have much more than that either. And we're switching into the 4-2-3-1. This is a little more of a standard play for me. I'm very comfortable in the 4-1-2-1-2 and the 4-2-3-1, and I have recommended this over and over and over again. But just in case you're brand new, welcome to the channel. I'm happy to have you. But what I want to, kind of put out there for you, what I want to reiterate, please know how to play a narrow formation and a wide formation. There will always be a place in FIFA to have both of these types of formations like mastered. And it's because some people are so good at pressuring the middle, some people leave the wings wide open, you name it. Or vice versa, and you just need to be able to use at least one of each. You can pick those formations, whether it's a 4-3-3-4 and a 4-3-1-2, that's all good. The 4-3-2-1 is kind of a combo formation because you have width, but at the same time, you don't have the same type of width of a 4-3-3 or even the 4-2-3-1, even the narrow variation, at least in my opinion. It's good pressure width, but they kind of scoot in from my experience when I'm attacking. So they don't have that same wing outlet. It's good fortune there with the layoff. And I figured coming into the second half, it's going to just be about someone taking the moment a little better than the other player. And now I've got to start thinking about, okay, do I want to try to slow the tempo? Do I want to be very safe? Do I want to start to add additional possession in my play. What's in my best interest? And I've never played this guy before, so for me, damn, that's a big mistake, and I fluffed it. Those finesse shots really only work at a high success rate if you're dead center. If you've already got an angle, so if you saw there, I was already angled and showing my body. I need to be more in that semicircle in the middle, not on the edge of the semicircle or even outside the semicircle. I need to be right there in the mix, and that seems to be the most efficient way to score those finesse shots. Keepers don't react. I'm not going to say it's a bug or it's a mistake, but it's definitely effective, and keepers just don't read the game nearly as well. See me doing some line play. Pretty standard when I switch into the 4-2-3-1 to have additional a line play. You have different outlets now. And that's just how it is. It's still a great defensive formation, great pressure formation. The attack is where you're making the trade. So it's just a matter, can you attack out of this formation? I see so many pros starting to use the 4-2-3-1, but I think you have to be very honest with yourself. What do you do well and what don't you do well? And that's a mistake there as well. Griezmann should have been the pass, and instead we end up with some sort of 360 shot, which I'm not sure I agree with that shot animation or however that came about, but either way, Griezmann was the guy. Trust me. If I was going for efficiency, if I was really scoring that type of opportunity, that would have been my move. And it's been mostly us right now in the second half, so that's good. Build your confidence. Another big mistake. You see he's starting to rush. Oh, that's frustrating when I watch that back. My fanciness cost me goal opportunities or shot creation or 1v1 creation. Who knows? But doing as many skills as I do, and I think they're going to call hold it offsides, but man, does he look close. Let me rewind this. Can we, nope, I'm not going to get to rewind it. That man looks onside to me. That's all I'm saying. That man looks onside to me. And he hasn't really been able to put together an attack. There's another reason that you switch formations. If you're comfortable in a little more of a defensive formation or a wide formation, oh, speaking of, this really should be the goal. He goes for the driven, misses the placement. That should have been the equalizer. Wow, I almost spoke too soon. But I was going to say, that was the first opportunity he's had, and I think a lot of that is because I switched formation. Maybe he's getting used to it now, but people aren't always accustomed to playing against multiple formations, or people have a strong point and a weak point. So pros and cons. So maybe you're very confident and you're excellent against a 4-3-3, but for whatever reason, you don't match up that well against a 4-3-2-1. And when I'm sitting down with my, like on my own, reviewing gameplay, editing for the 40-40 and so forth and so on, I often sit here and look at my struggle games and try to kind of put together the package. Why do you struggle? What do these players share? Where are you having issues, Mike? Is it connection issues? Is it just this formation doesn't go well with you? Do you struggle versus this type of player? Because you need to make sure that you're making improvements, you're making adjustments, you're trying to push your gameplay to the next level. I've had a couple rushed attacks on a side note here. At the end of the game, that's exactly what you don't want to do. He's offside, but he was actually looking for, I think, George Best. If you're going to play the through ball, if you're going to play anything kind of deep, make sure you hit it deep. I underhit a couple of those types of chances, and here we are where the giveaways weren't great. Yeah, that's what I'm talking about, the George Best. I'm fortunate that he just wasn't able to put anything together. Should have had a skill there. Should have had a skill. I kept it a bit almost too simple. And now that we're going into the almost 80th minute here, I'm going to start really trying to slow the game down. The only reason I went back with George Best from that corner kick is, as many of you might be aware, you get countered out of corner kicks. So I wanted to make sure, look, I'll sacrifice the attacking value of this corner. I'll sacrifice if I can trade to make sure I don't get countered at least. And right there should be a skill move as well. I was kicking myself when that happened. The body feint, the reverse body feint, was all the way open from that wing position, and I just tried to overpower him with Ronaldo, and it wasn't what's up, because one more goal and I close out this game and I don't have to worry about stressing over the last 10 or 15 minutes. Griezmann's not your best shield partner, but we're in the corner. I really don't have good options. He did a good job closing that out. We do earn another corner kick. Oh, I guess not. I thought we earned another corner kick. Well, that's what I was going for. But he did a good job cutting out the passes. And remember, at the end of a game, I'm not telling you to hold the ball. I'm not telling you to run to the corners. I'm not telling you to do any of these things. But you do need to make sure that your decision making is calm, cool, collected, that everything is going to put you in the best position to score more goals. Damn, it's a great first read from George Best, but the pullback was wrong in that example. So your man's got, what, 3 minutes left? Actually, in this case, when you're down to the wire, maybe you should do a little bit of some additional line play. You don't need more goals, and you don't want to get punished on a counterattack. It depends on your opponent. I just hate when people don't pressure you. They don't come out of the box that they're living in. They stay in that park. They stay in the ultra defensive. They stay in the counterattack quick tactic. All of that bothers me. But you can see I've got Hullet, which is a good player to kind of be a jerk with if you want to. Very physical. Same with Ronaldo. And then I've got Kyle Walker here. This is only the last couple minutes where you see me trying to work some of the line play, but I don't want to lose the ball with Kyle Walker knowing that I won't have that fullback there. I need to make sure that this is played out in a favorable manner for me, and let the clock kind of wind down, and whenever he does get possession, he won't be able to produce a counterattack. And I think that's exactly what happens. Oh boy. Oh, we need one more break. Yeah, right there here, I knew that this game was over. And I kind of just booted it with Griezmann, and the whistle goes, and we get a 1-0 victory. I think it was deserved when you look at the opportunities. He only had one great chance in that match, but you got an idea of what the gameplay looks like between two really good players. You're looking at a lot of possession. You're looking at pretty good decision making for the most part, less mistakes. He did make a couple in that game. I'm not saying I was perfect. And then the finishing is usually more efficient. There wasn't a lot of chances in that. A lot of half chances maybe, where you had to dance a little bit to maybe create an opening. But in terms of wide open chances, maybe I had a couple and he had just the one with Petit. If I missed anything, please feel free to correct me in the comments. But if you enjoyed it, please drop a thumbs up. Subscribe if you're brand new. I'm happy to have you. Welcome to the channel. I have a lot more content coming for you ASAP. Hopefully there's no hard feelings for the 3 minutes of shielding in the corner. I hope you guys don't judge too much there. If you've seen what I've seen in FUT Champs, and I'm sure many of you have, that's the least of your worries. I don't want to get shielded on in the 20th minute, put it that way. But if it's the last 10, I can almost expect it, especially if it's a high level match. Just get used to it. Remember to hashtag it, my friends.